Es geht weiter mit der Next Economy Open. Last but not least, die letzte Session der zweitägigen Next Economy Open. Bislang ist alles prächtig gelaufen, die Resonanz ist groß. Und Lutz, du machst die Einführung.
Okay, last not least, and traditionally our final session on the Friday is streamed from Ostfold, from FREIIA in Ostfold. So this is southern Norway, from the Ostfold University College, and I warmly welcome Eivind Leister from FREIIA, and he is telling us about a research project which I personally find very interesting, since my second home is at the North Sea. And I'm on a North Sea island actually, and so I'm directly affected by these questions. Yeah, and so that's why I'm really looking forward to your presentation, and we're going to have a discussion afterwards. And so I think I have many questions.
Okay. Yes. Good afternoon, everybody.
Yourself, yeah, in detail.
Okay. Yeah, good afternoon, and thank you very much for inviting Høgskolen in Østfold and myself to participate in the Next Economy Open at the Høgskolen Fresenius in Cologne. We are really happy that we again are invited. So today I will share some thoughts about the FREIIA project. But to start with some small remarks to who I am and where I come from. My name is Eivind Leister. Actually, I studied in Germany, Betriebswirtschaftslehre at the university in Kiel in the last century. It was in those days when Professor Hauschild and Horst Siebert, and not to forget Klaus Brockhoff, were quite active. So those were the days. But after that, I worked approximately 20 years with banking, with the Norwegian and German banks, financing shipping companies in Northern Europe. And I started teaching some years back, and I've been with Høgskolen i Østfold since 2022. So here we go. Here's a short agenda which I would like to take you through, a little bit background on the University College of Østfold, what we think about project-based learning, and then we will dive into the project FREIIA. As let's say, Høgskolen i Østfold is located in the southeastern part of Norway. It's approximately 85 kilometers from Oslo, close to the Swedish borders. We actually have the University College divided in two campuses in Halden and Fredrikstad. Approximately 7,500 students, staff of 640, quite a substantial number of programs, if I may say so, about 100. We have 3 faculties, and 1 academy. The academy is for modern theater, which is a quite funny thing to have. We are
very famous.
Yes. For those who are into this kind of cultural area, they are actually. So we have students from the whole world, and but the faculties themselves have a quite practical approach. We are within engineering and teaching, educating the teachers from a primary school up to university level, and also for healthcare sector. So these are the main, but also with the engineering and business administration. The part which, where you see the seaside, that's in Fredrikstad, that's where I work. And I spend my days with IPL, that's called Innovasjon og prosjektledelse. You might translate it into the innovation and project leadership. It's a 3-year bachelor program where we take our students through a journey consisting of various projects, teaching them project management, leadership skills, organizational theories, lean entrepreneurship, and then in the end they write their bachelor thesis. We are quite eager to use project-based learning as a pedagogical tool. We take that into the various of our courses. And why is that? I think it is well proved in research that an active approach of the students increases the learning and the competencies. So if you look to Bloom's taxonomy, when we are starting to learn new subjects, we start to remember, then perhaps to apply and analyze, and at the end we will use this knowledge to create. And so there are various steps which you have to go up before you can start creating a new business model and or to be an entrepreneur. But we see to climb those stairs, an active approach motivates the students. And if you start with the first step in the learning process, which normally is how do you remember things, you can do that by reading. But to a little degree, you will actually, when you read, remember not everything. When you get more involved with the subject in an active way, you will also be able to remember more. Taking that into the learning pyramid, this is perhaps not easy to see. It's sorry to say, but when it comes to lectures, which is quite common at the universities and schools, that is the way we do teaching, the outcome is limited. Research has said that up to 5% of what we teach is actually remains in the heads of the students. When the students get more involved up to a level where actually the teachers teach themselves, the teaching outcome is much higher. Of course, we have to start somewhere with the lectures and the seminars and the reviews and reading, so get a sound ground or the basis for the theory and methods to use. But to actually use them and understand them, they have to use them themselves, and also in cooperation with each other. And this is why we are so eager to use projects in our teaching, because we see the outcome is quite good, and we also know listen to what the surroundings are say. When they are going to the job market for a professional career after the studies, the companies would like to have motivated and self-going students which actually can take a leading role, and our students are going to be project managers. So that to prepare them for those tasks that actually are expected, we are training them on these skills in various ways, which I will show you now. So, Lutz, you have been to Norway. You know the Mission Green Camp. When they come to this to us in the first semester, they are actually sent out in the forest, walking around the lake for 3 days. They're doing the hiking and going with the canoes to overcome several hurdles and challenges. We think that's at the early stage of the study will improve their team skills and also ability to meet the problems which they are not prepared for. And we see during these days the groups interact and they get a kind of relationship which they can rely on during the whole study. Later on, we have the bridge building project. We are not educating engineers, but project managers, and their task there, we just completed that some weeks back. It was done in November, is to build, to plan, construct and build a bridge across a river. And then the students have to pass it themselves. This is also done in the first semester. So the first semester is quite practical and active. So the students get out up early in the morning and actually build a bridge and pass the river. And then we take that into various other courses, the young entrepreneurship, where students now coming to the second semester, they have now done practical projects. They know each other a little bit better. They have practical skills, and they know how to run a project, and also how to interact with each other. Then they are now forced to set up their own businesses, to develop a business plan. They have business idea, which they must take further into a business model, and then some of them also bring then the new products and services to the market in close partnership with companies around them. And in addition to that, we have during the whole program external funded projects which involve municipalities and the regional business environments, NGOs and so on. And that is where FREIIA comes in, which I will elaborate on a little bit later on. The bachelor project with us is that we invite companies to come to us with problems they have, which they would like to look deeper into, but they don't have the capacity or the skills or the time. So they invite our students to do this kind of work for them, like consultants, and this is then how we set up the bachelor thesis. And I would like to show some of the impressions of what these kind of more practical projects can look like. This is from the late summer, early fall, that we take the students out to the seaside. As you know, Fredrikstad is quite close to the Oslo fjord, and where we actually get out to see how nature is dealing with finding solutions in the ecosystem and how to survive. And we think that is kind of interesting to see, especially when it goes to sustainability, and can we actually learn something from the shapes and forms of the nature, how it organizes itself, that can be taken into business, corporates, and organizational models. This is another project. This is more land-based, if I may say so. Shows that we have close connect. We have a very close connection to companies in the region, so they would like to involve students in problems they have. Also, when it comes to the challenges within the sustainability strategies, for instance, this is from a project called Greenbiz, which we had that was an Interreg project in cooperation with the University of Aalborg in Denmark. So we were students in cooperation with companies. We were trying to establish and develop a sustainability strategy for them. And here is the famous bridge project. Here you see how the students then they have a 1 week to plan and to get the materials and actually to build the bridge across the river. And they are also, as a part of this project, they have to pass the bridge themselves. It doesn't help you just to build it and see how it looks like, so you have to pass it. And most of them come over to the other shore, but also some get a little bit wet. But they found it fun, and this is also kind of signal project, which is like has put EPL on the map in Norway when it comes to this kind of entrepreneurial education.
So I see there's some lifeguard in the river.
Yes. So that takes us to the project which we shall dig a little more into. I don't know if you know this lady. This is
FREIIA.
This is FREIIA. This is the walrus FREIIA. She was swimming around in various harbors in the North Sea region between 19 and 22. Unfortunately, I must say, she was killed in Oslo. She got too dangerous for the environment and the people around her. She used to
So the people got too close, or
yeah, they got too close. And she liked to take sunbaths in various spots, so she turned out to be a real challenge. So, but they put up a nice statue of her, but of course, unfortunately, she's not among us with us any longer. Parallel to the swimming tour of FREIIA, it was various institutions working on a project in the same region, and they were seeking for a suitable name for the project. And as the institutions are located in the North Sea region, FREIIA was swimming in the same. They took so they used her as the name Giving Lady, and that's where. So this is the logo of the FREIIA project. It is an Interreg project. It is co-funded by the European Union, but also with the funds from national fund givers. But to a large extent, is a European Union project. And it stands for facility. So use the walrus, FREIIA. If you put it the other way around, it means the facilitating, resilience, enhancing islands innovation, and so on. It's a long name, which is quite common for these Interreg projects. What it is about is to use this region, common problems, and hopefully to find solutions together. The main task, it's a long text out there, is actually to give advice and to improve the public sector to become more successful meeting in their policies, meeting the sustainability challenges we see by using innovations. That is a kind of overall task. It has a certain flavor of governance, and that the project itself shall give advices to the public sector how to become more sustainability and how to use entrepreneurship and innovation to do that. That is also the big picture in the background. So how do we do it? Again, here you see the regions a little bit clearer. It consists of islands, and that is the important thing here, from Bretagne up to Norway. So we start down in Bretagne with the island of Groix-Ouchant, the Frisian island in the Netherlands, and Bornholm in Denmark, Koster in Sweden, and Hvaler in Norway. The partners are various institutions in France, in Netherlands, Germany, Denmark, Sweden, and Norway. That in Norway, it's the Høgskolen in Østfold, in partnership with the destination development company Visit Hvaler og Fredrikstad. They can also be municipalities and NGOs. So there are various partners in this project. But what we have in common, we will use the islands as a kind of laboratory, as a working places to see if you can find solutions out there which can be taken back to the mainland. It has been proven in the past that islands is quite a good place to test out new ideas and thoughts. Also, I think in Iceland, for instance, has been used by many large corporations for a test market when it comes to new products. So because you have an isolated geographical area, you can focus on a problem, you can test out solutions, and then probably you can see, okay, this works, this does not work, and perhaps you can take that back to the mainland and see it in a bigger picture. Yes, the project was started last year, so we are quite we are moving ahead. The idea is, and when we come to the methodology, there are actually 8 working packages focusing on different scope of work connected to the governance thought. But we cannot see here the working package 3 involves young entrepreneurs, and that's where Høgskolen Østfold and we come in. That we would like to encourage young people to go to these islands, have a look at the problems, talk to the stakeholders, and see if there are kind of entrepreneurial thinking and innovations that might lead those communities further on. There are other institutions focusing on other things, and then together this will end up in a kind of report, which will then be presented to the Interreg Secretary in Copenhagen in 2025. But we are focusing on young entrepreneurs. So how do we do it? These are the methods we are building on it. We use a kind of gap analysis. Then by design thinking, we would like to see if the problems discovered can be solved within a kind of entrepreneurial way, and then see how it eventually can be taken into action with partners out there. In practical, that means that Høgskolen Østfold takes students out to these islands to meet stakeholders, to do the gap analysis. They sit down to see, okay, what do you see as an island, as the main challenge on this island? Okay, and then the students will go back to the university college, analyze the data material. Then they will go out for the second time, meeting the stakeholders again. So we have went through the analysis. We have some ideas. How can we develop new business, new products, new services to overcome these challenges? Because there are some problems isolated some are quite specific for the islands, but they also have much in common. And these problems is not only problems for the islands themselves, but also that goes for the whole societies and the mainland. But it is easier to start as I said, in an isolated community like an island. So the idea is that we will take the students out, do the work, the analysis, and then get them back. So we have been here. We started in May last year. This year. Time flies. It was in May. We started in Norway. We went out to Hvaler. There's a group of islands not far away from Fredrikstad. You see a wonderful lighthouse in the background. That's actually where we stayed overnight. So that was our kind of base camp. And then the students got out to talking to various stakeholders, interviewing them. That could be the mayor, that could be political parties, that could be the local shopkeeper. They also have a quite interesting product out there. Hvaler have a vineyard. So they actually have so they went out to talk to the founders and entrepreneurs of a vineyard in Norway. So how do they see the cooperation with the other business there, but also the municipality, and so on. So that was quite. So they spent a couple of days there with thorough discussions and interviews, as you may see here. So they collected a lot of data. And this was done by all the external people involved signed a form that they accepted that the interview was recorded, which is what on the mobile. So we got several hours of interviews on mobiles. Rather a large databases to see the challenges and the problems. Actually, we were a little bit worried how actually can we transcript it from hours of speaking down to written words, but we actually found a quite good program so you can do the transcription, not only in Norwegian but other languages. So we have so what has been spoken has been, if I may say so, written down. So we have a very founded database for Hvaler, and that was the pilot in this project. That was the first thing. So that was in May. We did a recording, we did a transcription. In October, they went back. Then they had, if I may say so, done the gap analysis. Then they now were using the design thinking model scheme to see how to overcome the challenges. Again, they sat down with the stakeholders that which were involved in the first part, now this is the second round, to see how the solutions can be found to the problems identified. So it turned out to be, it was a really good start for the project. We have tested it, also this two-step thinking, the technical part of it, and also the outcome. So the outcome that of course will be proven if the solutions pitched can be used, but it was at least a good starting point. We are now into the next step of the project. In September, our students went to a Frisian island. I can't try to say pronounce it, but my Dutch is not very well. So it was something like Schiermonnikoog. It's on the northern Frisian island. So they went out there together, and that's important. With the students from the Hogeschool Hanse in Groningen. So the idea is also we can, when our students now are going to other islands outside Norway, that will be in close cooperation with universities and university colleges in that region. So that was Hogeschool Hanse, which involved in this project. As you see here, they are out in the Waddenmeer or the Vattenmeer, as you know in Germany. Yeah. And fascinating area. I think it goes from Netherlands up to Denmark, and so again,
an endangered area because we have sea level rise, we have gas drillings, we have oil drillings, we have transport, and so this is after the rainforest. The area with the second highest biodiversity in the world. Yes.
I think it's also kind of, in Germany at least, you have protected it somehow.
Yeah. Yes, but it's quite precarious. So because, for example, there is currently a project about drilling for gas. Yeah. Which is so stupid, I think. Yeah, so it's at risk, definitely. Yeah.
Yes, I know the site up there in Schleswig-Holstein where you have this kind of oil and gas production. Yeah.
Yes.
So they did the same here. They went out with the Dutch common students, talking to the stakeholders at the Frisian island, also to look what are the challenges here. So what are the problems? What are you to overcome to get more sustainable, and also how can you encourage the municipality and the region to support you in this? That is that was the first step. We will go. We are now, and they did it the same way. Interviews with the mobile. The transcription has to be done, and we will go back in in February, I think, to see how we can develop the databases, how to work with the stakeholders in cooperation with the municipality, to look into how innovative idea can make a difference. And from there, building up, okay, if it can work here, how can we encourage the public sector to use it on the mainland as well?
But obviously here on the picture, they were digging for wetworms.
Yeah, they were, exactly. You know, what do you call it in German?
Wattwürmer.
Wattwürmer, yeah.
Yes, I do the same with my students when I go there.
Yeah. And they had a lot of fun, of course. They had, of course, the interviews and the serious part of the project, but they also had a great fun together. And when it comes to at the end, I think EU projects, Interreg projects are good, but in my opinion, the European Union is a gigantic peace project. So for young people, also for us to meet, if it's Erasmus or if it's a business cooperation program, so it's so important that we within the European community meet in various places to see what we can achieve together. So it was a good thing.
Yes,
Perhaps
I
look
agree
forward.
totally. It's really it's a peace project.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So what were the observations done so fast out on the island? Okay, I can say, to elaborate a little bit more, so the next destinations, so the Vienna, Netherlands, we are going to close in February. Then the next step will be Bornholm, covering 2 visits, and then we will go to, I think, Roa, the Bretagne Islands, cooperation with students down there, and then come back to Sweden, I think, next year. But it also we send them out, do the research, get back, dig into it, and then go back to analyze. After analyzing, go back, talk to the stakeholders, and see if you can find innovative solutions. Again, we are coming back to what I said in the beginning of my presentation. This is project-based learning. We have a clear project. One can discuss if the task is clear, but I think we made our understanding of it to use the islands as a laboratory for bigger problems. But to send them out 2 times, and that actually gives quite substantial data material for research for the staff at the University College of Østfold. So of course the students get international experiences. They hopefully we can give something to the stakeholders and even to the public sector, but also from an academical point of view, we will have, when this project is closed, quite substantial data material from various islands in the North Sea region, and that can give us a very interesting input for further research. So it's a double win situation, that the students also contribute for research for university staff. So what we have seen so far is that tourism is that is nothing new. It's a dualism of tourism. These islands used to be dependent on many of them, at least in the past, on fisheries. Fishery, at least here in Hvaler, you can't hardly fish anymore. So they had to look for other industries and business. So they, of course, the tourism is welcomed. It gives income, it creates jobs, but it also, that's government saying, it also brings tourists to stay there, and that can also be the challenge for the environment, and also get pressure on the islanders themselves. Especially when it comes to infrastructure, we've seen as in some regions, some islands are very popular. So that's of course a much more bigger problem for islands like Mallorca, the Canarian Island, which are if I may say so, invaded by thousands, hundreds of thousands each year, which of course leave concern to the supply of water, waste management, and so on. So produced by people coming there for their holiday, that's nice, spending their money, but also leaving something behind which has to be dealt with. The connection with the mainland, of course, is a concern when in crucial situations. Also in Vale, they have a bridge connection, so that you can actually go there by car. But in other areas, you are dependent on ferry boats. Okay, if the stormy weather, and it can be crucial for health and life in such situations. The demography, that is interesting. That at least that goes across, I think, many of these islands. You see the people actually staying on the islands. They're getting older.
Yes.
Why is that? The younger people leave to get education, and they don't see a job possibility. So a topic which has been discussed is actually how to job create, how to get younger people back on the island. That brings us to the next problem, housing. So we see that there is, at least up in our part of the world, Koster and also while the young people actually would like to go back to the island. Perhaps they even would like to found their own business or to contribute in a positive way. But these islands are quite popular, using for tourism and guests staying for the weekends. Has put a certain pressure on the prices to actually for a young couple to settle down. It is quite expensive, or perhaps not even possible to buy a small house, because then the prices are going up in the sky. In Norway, we have a law to prevent that. So if you really would like to have a full-year house, you have to stay there. In Sweden, they don't have it. In France, they don't have it. So you can actually buy a full-year house, stay there whenever you like. And that is also tempting for wealthy people to buy these houses for a weekend houses. But that, of course, has an impact on the pricing mechanism. They're putting the prices up, and make it even harder for young people to settle there.
Yeah, the problem is we have the same problem in Bochum, for example, and they have installed a local law there, and you are not allowed to rent out homes for leisure purpose, for tourism purposes, except you have had an allowance in beforehand. And but on the other hand, you see that now the prices of the houses that cannot be used for tourism purposes, the prices are dropping, and the people cannot sell it anymore. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. It's always when you have regulation, it's very hard to find the right measure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a quick fix. So
Yeah, sure.
So regulations, they definitely have some obstacles and negative effects, but also to leave it to the free market, as we have seen in some other countries, press out people who actually would like to settle. So it has to be
intelligent regulation. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Perhaps tiny houses renting involving the municipality, if they also the original government. Also, there is at least a topic to be discussed, because to get younger people to the islands to settle there, to keep the schools, mean that they must be given a possibility to get a decent housing.
On the other hand, they are living from tourism. Yeah, and that is also trade-off. Yeah. So if you come back, you have somehow to do your business in something which is related to tourism or craftsmanship or something like that.
Yeah, and that also brings up the transformation of the business structure in these areas. They went from traditional agriculture and fisheries into tourism. They have seen that the tourism can be a blessed curse, and so they would like perhaps to use the resources in other ways. Quite interested to see in the Breton Islands that they actually have encouraged to set up small businesses, manufacturing, not necessarily for the purpose to serve the tourists, but actually when it's using the sea as a resource. But also in Britain they have a brewery on the island, and they of course they sell it to the tourists, but also the large percent of the production goes back to the mainland. So encourage entrepreneurs to set up businesses which actually can be full year businesses and create jobs, not necessarily depending on the tourism, but of course it can support it. And we see in Norway now with this using the sea in many ways, with as you know, from salmon farming and so on, but also other resources. So that can be interesting to use it for to extend the tourism, but also to get an alternative to tourism. But again, to achieve these changes, it has to come to a closer cooperation, I think, between the stakeholders, but also the various interests on the island, and where the municipality is playing a leading role. So we see that in some cases there is a good cooperation. In some cases there is a kind of quite different opinions. Where are we going? Does the municipality want to go? They see themselves in a couple of years, not necessarily in the same way as the local business or the inhabitants do. So there is definitely a need for a dialogue to see where is this island actually going, and how do we want to go there, and how do we get there together? There are some different opinions.
I have this feeling like stakeholders are always conservative.
Yeah.
But I think on the islands they are more conservative, and that
they are.
just one remark: what all the islands have, they have a very strong local brand. All islands are strong brands. You have them on every map.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we see that perhaps to develop this further, we have seen it. We have also good cooperation in Croatia, but we see it on Bornholm. I don't know if how it's up on the East Frisian Island in Germany, but I know Bornholm has it, that to involve the academic world on the island, to set up campuses or at least research stations to be out there, to elaborate and to cooperate and with the community, and that has at least in the past proven to be a good thing. So Campus Bornholm is quite famous and quite successful. So that they offer teaching rooms, accommodations, that I think the University of Oslo can go after for various research projects to the benefit of the island, and to stay there for a couple of times. So that is which we would like to dig more into, that we actually, so we are doing this kind FREIIA to seek problems, to seek solutions, but we would also like to be a part of the solution in the future. I think the various academic institutions can contribute in a positive way. So
agree. By the way, the University of Oldenburg, they have a site on the island of Spiekeroog, where they train especially young biologists. Nevertheless, the responsible professor is retired, and I think it's very hard to keep it ongoing. And for example, on Spiekeroog, they had also scientific conferences in the past, like the Spiekeroog Klimagespräche. And I think this is an opportunity for the island. I agree totally, but it's hard to manage for the universities. That's the problem. They don't find people that go there.
Okay. Then there's also a chance. Okay, then thank you very much for your attention, and I open so for further discussions and questions. But auf jeden Fall vielen Dank, dass ich dabei sein dürfte.
Ja, zu danken. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I've just a few questions. I think I see your project-based teaching approach, and I've seen it in Norway. I've been in the woods at the lake with the students when they were canoeing around. Yeah, but I think this is something that requires resources. You need stuff to do it, to organize it.
Yeah.
How do you do it? Yeah, because in Germany, at a university college, you have traditionally 18 hours lecture a week. Yeah. And then there's not much time left. You know, when you lecture, you don't have the time to do anything else in that time. Yeah.
Yes, I'm not so familiar with the German model. Also, Gunnar, he and his team has built this system up over several years. So there's I think it's become a kind of culture and a kind of pedagogical method that of course we have the courses and the lectures, but they take the products into the lectures. They say, okay, instead of being in the classroom today, we will go up to this company. They will present us a problem. And then you are encouraged to use the methods which we have been discussing the last week on a practical problem. So that is one way. And when it comes to the bridge building project, okay, everything is frozen that week. We know that from the beginning. So that also stands in the schedule for the semester, that the bridge building, and also that goes for the green mission. But it's taken into the various courses.
Yeah, I know Gunnar has done awesome job. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I really like the approach, I must say. Yeah. And it's integrated into the curricula. Yeah, and I think this is very important to do it that way. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's also okay. FREIIA comes in addition to everything. So FREIIA leaves it on. It's not. So we try to take it into the various subjects, but then there the students. Okay, also the staff. We are quite motivated to be there. So we go abroad with the students, but the students they are okay. They get the travel expenses covered. But they actually have to if they participate in the FREIIA movement to do the island, they do that in addition to the other courses. But I think to try to implement projects in the courses is one way, but that takes time, and it takes also a will to do it. And to say okay, so classroom is good for various reasons, but the combination, I think, is even better.
But I think, when I remember right, many of your students have a job. Yeah, they're working somewhere. Yeah.
Some do. They some have part-time job. We are not very happy about it. They, in my opinion, they can do it in the weekends or so. But yes, but we also see this actually. You also see that in the results. Students who think this is this study program is a part-time study. They are facing some problems during the years. Luckily, we also have full-time students, and they get a much better results. So they have to focus on the studies. If they work in the weekend, that's okay. But if you try to combine that with a part-time job during the week, that is rather tough.
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, good. Gunnar, any questions?
How many students fell into the water during the bridge project?
This year, I know at least one did, but one student got wet feet as far as I know, but there could be a couple more. I was not there this time, unfortunately.
And you might sit at the lake and a moose comes along to drink some water or so.
Yeah.
There are some special challenges involved. Or you're living in a tent, and when you have strong rainfall, then the water flows underneath your bed.
Yeah. Okay.
That brings people together. That was it's
Yeah.
all about, isn't it?
I agree. Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
Okay.
this is glue, social glue. Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay,
Finish.
Eivind, thanks a lot. My best regards to all your colleagues in Fredrikstad.
Yeah. I will thank you for letting me speak today. It was a pleasure.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing you next year.
Yeah.
Okay. So do I. Okay.
December 6th.
Okay. Yes.
December
And
6th.
in the meantime, I wish you all a nice Adventszeit und viel Spaß auf dem Weihnachtsmarkt und Merry Christmas when that time comes.
Genau, das ist jetzt quasi der Schluss der Next Economy Open. Lutz hat das gerade schon angedeutet. Im nächsten Jahr ist die Next Economy am 5. und 6. Dezember. Also sozusagen eine Nikolaus-Überraschung. Und das 10-jährige Jubiläum. Also da machen wir besondere Geschichten, die wir uns dann auch ausdenken. Also ihr könnt euch freuen auf 10 Jahre Next Economy Open. Ja.
Es war eine tolle Veranstaltung. Vielen Dank an alle. Thanks a lot to everybody and have a nice weekend.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.